There's been a lot of controversy over the new live-action remake of Snow White. Disney is said to be so skittish about the reaction, they scaled back the usual lavish premieres.
Disney scaled back the planned lavish premiere for the show to have only a handful of tightly controlled media there. The film has been branded as woke.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. What is the floppiest Disney movie of all? Snow White and its 7 circles of fumbles never seem to end. And now, the very protagonist of the story has tanked the movie forever. There will be no glamorous premieres for Snow White, and now Disney is scrambling for its money. What's happening? Rachel Zegler is taking no risks. Rachel Zegler is finally speaking, or should we say not speaking, about the firestorm surrounding Disney's live-action Snow White. It shouldn't be a surprise that the usual Disney crowd isn't exactly brimming with excitement for this one. A shame, really, because Snow White is one iconic princess who occupied millions of childhoods around the world. Disney has been under fire for pushing the woke agenda on children by taking extreme creative liberties. The media conglomerate has been trying to bring some twist of diversity to their pretty usual storylines. And well, it is not going well.
And the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere.
To make matters worse, Zegler let go of all of her media training to slash the traditional Snow White storyline. So much so that she called Prince Charming a creep. And oh boy, the conservative side of the media was furious. The reaction to Zegler's comments has been quite mixed. Some believe that a young actress is being dragged through the mud for no reason at all, and others believe that it's time for Disney to close shop.
Thank you, Rachel. On the way out?
After a series of snafu, Zegler made herself scarce in front of cameras. But as Snow White is currently premiering in theaters, all eyes are on her. The West Side Story star, who just landed a role in the West End's Evita, was caught by TMZ cameras as she arrived at LAX. And let's just say she was not in the mood to chat. With cameras rolling and reporters pressing her on the intense backlash surrounding the film, Rachel kept it short and sweet, or short and awkward, depending on how you view her answers.
Congrats on the film. How does it feel to finally have it come out?
Feels wonderful.
Feels wonderful.
When asked how she felt about Snow White finally making it to the big screen, she mustered up a quick, "It feels wonderful, thank you," before making a beeline for the exit.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
But things got even more tense when the reporter brought up the real drama. What would you say to those who are overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it. Instead of defending the project or addressing the controversy head-on, Rachel went full ghost mode, ignoring the question completely as she darted toward a sleek black SUV and vanished into the night. No explanations, no damage control, just silence. None of this should come as a surprise to anyone. After all, there's a major reason why Zegler is on the edge. Here's the thing, not all fairy tales have a happy ending. If you're an avid Disney fan, you already know that Snow White has been in the works for a decade now, 10 years. The live-action remake of the classic story had to bite the poisonous apple several times. It took Disney a lot of hiring and firing to get the production team on the line. Once Barbie mastermind Greta Gerwig joined the writing team, the buzz around Disney's Snow White really started to pick up. Then, in 2019, Variety leaked that Spider-Man director Mark Webb was in talks to take the reins. And sure enough, he officially signed on to direct. With such big names attached, you would think Disney would be rushing to get this fairy tale rolling. Nope. A 3-word horror story. The pandemic happened, tough luck. But that was just the beginning of Disney's troubles. In 2023, the SAG-AFTRA strike meant that the entire Hollywood was on halt. Snow White was no different. Once the writing staff came back to the office, Disney once again started the show. Finally, it seemed like the movie was taking its shape, until one little leak of a scene from the movie changed everything. The end of Snow White. Still not convinced that this little story is simply cursed? Well, the next thorn in Disney's horn might change your mind. When leaked photos from the set of Snow White hit the internet, fans were shook, and for all the right reasons. Instead of the iconic 7 dwarfs, the image showed a lineup of actors who, well, were not living with dwarfism. And while there are several reasons why this movie can fail at the box office, this major fumble could be the biggest factor of all. According to the AV Club, the backlash came from all sides. Disney tried to calm the storm by claiming the actors were just stand-ins, but that explanation did nothing to cool the outrage. If anything, it made things worse. Then, IndieWire reported that Peter Dinklage himself stepped in and dragged Disney for its outdated portrayal of the dwarfs. The criticism was loud enough that the studio hit the panic button and decided to scrap the live-action dwarfs altogether, only to opt for CGI versions instead. You shouldn't be surprised that the move sparked even more controversy, with many calling Disney out for taking away roles from under-recognized actors who already struggled to find work in Hollywood. Honestly, whoever was in charge of making strategic decisions for the movie should be fired. At least, that's what the internet believes. Now, no matter what they do, it seems like Disney just cannot win with this remake. Rachel Zegler's PR snafu is still making rounds on the internet, and oh, it seems like she has also been forsaken by the Queen herself.
Zegler also faced blowback after posting Free Palestine. Gadot is from Israel and served in the Israeli army.
Yep, the girl power duo is officially over. You see, Zegler and Gadot have some political differences on the current escalation in the Middle East. Apparently, bosses at Disney tried their best to keep the political distance at bay, but the women of Snow White didn't bring knives to the gunfight. Now, it seems like the co-stars don't want to do any press for the movie together. The actors can try to save the movie at the premieres, but oh wait, it seems like Disney won't be rolling any red carpets for its princess and the evil queen. The canceled premieres. The actors can try to save the movie at the premieres, but oh wait, it seems like Disney won't be rolling any red carpets for its Princess and the Evil Queen. Now you know why Rachel Zegler has been on the edge. Her iconic role is nothing short of a nightmare. You'll think that a $200 million movie will create a global buzz, but it seems like Disney wants to get done with this fiasco as soon as possible. For starters, Disney has canceled the UK premiere of the movie to avoid any controversy across the pond. As per the movie insiders, Disney knows that the US viewership of the movie is going to falter severely. So, the go-to strategy is to make the global release of Snow White a massive success. The cast of the movie also didn't do any major promotion in the UK to avoid any entanglements with the much liberal and often biased British press. As far as Disney is concerned, they want the brand of Snow White to shine through. It is too early to say if the strategy would work, but Disney is taking all the precautions it can to save the sinking ship. Back in the US, the movie's scaled-back premiere was pretty embarrassing.
It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that has reached a generation of people.
Disney didn't allow any press to grill the movie's cast, and well, expectedly, there was no paparazzi glam at the very small red carpet at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles. It seemed like there would be no tea spilling at the premiere, unless you count Disney's feeble attempt at the last-minute editing of the movie to garner favorable reviews, until one unexpected duo walked in. The feud rages on. As it turns out, the princess and the evil queen can let go of their bad blood, even if it is for some fake smiles in front of the cameras. Both Zegler and Gadot seem cheerful in their very fitting ensembles, but even their excellent PR training couldn't dispel the bad aura. The cast of the movie showed up for pictures and seemed to have a good time, generally. But if there's one thing about the Hollywood stars, they know how to fake it until they make it. Martin Kleba, who voiced the character of Grumpy, was not happy with how the thing turned out, and he isn't interested in keeping his mouth shut either. Kleba slammed Disney for choosing to scale back on the Hollywood premiere to cater to a feud between the two main actors. He said that political differences shouldn't overshadow everyone's hard work, but it was too late for Zegler and Gadot to get the memo. The Snow White feud rages on. And between this pettiness, Disney is losing sleep over the $200 million it invested in the movie. Disney would have to make $340 million at least to break even. And by the looks of it, that behemoth of the task seems far more unrealistic than the fairy tale itself.